So if you rotate a cube like this, we get a very far away vanishing point. And if the distance between vanishing points depends on the angle, one of them getting closer and the other farther, then why in this case both vanishing points move farther apart when we change only the vertical angle, while the horizontal angle stays the same? Let's first look at something simple, so we can understand why this is happening. We can tell that rotation gives us different vanishing points for the cube, but what if it is not the cube, and a rhombic prism instead? If we break our cube and keep just these two separate faces, each vanishing point will be separated with each side. They are basically independent now, so if we rotate just one face, we'll only push that vanishing point farther away. Keep in mind, we see similar objects smaller at bigger distances. This is just visible size, when two objects project differently in our eyes. So when we rotate these former cube faces, we actually move these edges closer to us and make their visible size more similar to the front edge. And that's how to get the rhombic prism. Use a separate vanishing points for each side. To understand this better, let's actually find them. This is the top view. This line is a picture plane. Let me know if you need a separate video about this, but it is simply an imaginary line where we crop our image and transfer it on paper. Here is you looking at the faces. And here are the original cube faces with a 90-degree angle, like our cube had before. In perspective, when we draw a cube at any distance, we understand that edges which go to opposite vanishing points are actually match at 90 degrees, even if this does not appear so. The closer these guys are to us, the closer that angle is to the true 90 degrees. And look at this in the top view. Those guys are actually these lines parallel to the cube faces. And the ones that go from our position cross the picture plane exactly where the vanishing points are. So to find vanishing points for these two faces, we simply rotate these guides. And you already see that they are farther apart. A lower angle between the face and the picture plane, a farther intersection, a farther vanishing point. And this is similar to the effect we get with the cube's vertical rotation. But we didn't change the angle between faces that time, did we? In cubes they're always 90 degrees. So maybe this is the right direction, but not the full answer for this case. Let's check another simple cases. These two cubes both rotated at the same angle in two-point perspective. But why does one have noticeably closer vanishing points than the other? Let's look at the full setup. Oh, so it is the distance between us and the object. Or this is about the size of the object and it is simply flying in air. Both reasons create the same effect. But why? What is common between them? If we put the big cube at the same place as the small one, the guides converge first again for the big one. So maybe it is a distance between equal elements. Smaller distance, smaller difference in visible size, slower conversion? No, because in the previous example, when the big cube was far away from us, we had the same big distance between equal elements, but slower conversion. So maybe it is a distance from us. Well, let's check. Put them both farther away. And we get the same result. The big one faster conversion, the small one slow conversion. Maybe the size itself? Almost. But we already had an example with the same size. And they had different perspective guides as well. So no. All of them play a role. Distance from us to the object, distance between equal elements, and the size of the object. They all create together relative distance. In that one example with the big cube far away and the small one close to us, the distance from us to each similar element is relatively the same. Not absolute values, but the ratio between them. Wait, I know math is not fun for most of people, so simplifying it. We can scale down the big cube with its distances and get the small one with the same distances. So this is what also affects the perspective. Bigger difference, faster conversion. Smaller, slower. But in our case, with vertical rotation, we didn't change the distance from us and the size of the object. Then why did vanishing points get wider apart? Well, actually, we do change the relative distance. Let's use some balls as similar objects to make it simpler. In the top view, when we had our cube just in two-point perspective, the distances from these equal objects to us varied more, and the angle between their direction and the picture plane was bigger, which means faster convergence and closer vanishing points. When we rotated it and got three-point perspective, look at this. The distance between similar objects got shorter, so relative distance did too, and the angle got smaller, which means we now have slow converging guides, and both vanishing points moved farther away. And look at this, we've got our rhombus, because we changed relative distances. If you now just extrude these edges vertically, you get the same two planes we had in the very first example. So how do we find these points? All three of them. Three-point perspective is a combination of horizontal and vertical two-point perspectives. We already know that vanishing points for horizontal ones can be found by sending lines parallel to the cube edges from the station point toward the picture plane. Or you can do this without the top view and simply rotate. They will still cross the line at the same position, but now it is the horizon instead of the picture plane. So for the vertical two-point perspective, we have a similar setup, but in the side view, and you can also just rotate it. Now for three-point perspective, we have two main options. The first one we get just tilting the head, birds and ants views. The second option, we rotate the cube itself. For the birds and ants view, you first search the vertical points, the same way you would do in a vertical two-point perspective. Let's say we look at the cube at a 35 angle. Here is your station point. Place it as far as you need. The closer the point, the more distorted the perspective and image. Now draw a 35-degree guide from it. To find the second vertical vanishing point, just use the right angle, which can be a simple square. Okay, the vertical locked in. Now we should split this point into two. To be precise, we don't actually split anything. We already have a third vanishing point, but because these edges are not rotated yet, this point is not active. When we start the rotation, both points slide on the horizontal line through the original vanishing point. That's why I'm saying split it. A fast and rough way to find them is just to transfer from a horizontal two-point perspective. But we already know this is not the correct way. They should be wider apart. That means that we cannot use this station point as an anchor in this case. But we know the reason for this is that we tilted the head at 35 degrees. So let's try using this distance from our vertical station point to the 35-degree vanishing point instead. Put our measuring tool to this point and voila, we got them. So in bird's view, you use this top guide. In ant's view, the bottom one. For the second option, when we get a three-point perspective just rotating the cube, first we do the horizontal two-point perspective, and then we search for the vertical perspective. Whichever side has 2 points, on that side we measure the distance from the station point to the vanishing point. Why do we do this? I mean transfer the distance. If you drop difficult math stuff, we have the fact that these points lie on the same line as the original one. So in 3D it looks like this. This is the same method we used in vertical two-point perspective, the same 90-degree angle. For our perspective, we cannot draw a 90-degree angle directly from the station point and get the same correct vanishing points on this vertical line. So we do the same trick with the setup rotation, like we did with the top view in the horizontal perspective and the side view in vertical one. And the rotated setup already gives you the same correct points. I hope all whys were answered, but let me know in the comments if not. Hi guys, if you find my videos helpful, please support me on my Patreon or with crypto. It really helps me to free time and make more videos for you. You can find my first t-shirt and mug design on my site.